So let's talk about it. Power Rangers Turbo. First off, let's talk about the movie. The movie was honestly just a big budget two-parter. Was it necessary? Absolutely not. Was it worth watching again? Kinda, sorta, just to see what the movie was like to rewatch it again. Honestly, it is nothing but a big budget two-parter. There's nothing that they've done that was really exponential that would make it necessary to have a movie. Sure, they are making new powers and getting new powers, but we already seen that with Zeo and had a Grand Neos two-parter with that. But the Turbo movie, yeah, it's really nothing special. I see why it bombed at the box office when it first came out. But looking past the movie and getting into the series, like I said, after rewatching the whole thing, I can see why a lot of people had an issue, especially in the early days. So much was changing at so little time and so fast. First thing, we get the movie, which they get new powers, new sets of Zords, new sets of villains. And then when you actually dive into the series itself, it's a three-parter where basically Alpha and Zordon are leaving. And I don't believe people were huge fans of the car theme, especially when Turbo first came out. Add on top of the fact they basically replaced Rocky with Justin in the Turbo movie. And they're already getting rid of mentors and basically quirky robot buddies that have been there in the beginning for new ones. And if that weren't an issue, Car Ranger, the footage they use for Power Rangers Turbo as far as Sentai footage, that was more or less a parody of Super Sentai. It wasn't a series that was meant to be taken too seriously. Turbo, on the other hand, there were definitely some moments where they were trying to take themselves too seriously and almost wrote themselves into corners where they didn't know if they were trying to be goofy or trying to be serious. And you may be thinking, well, isn't that normal for Power Rangers? To an extent, yes, but not to the point where it's affecting the Sentai footage as well. Like, knowing what I know now about Car Ranger and seeing some of that footage, I can see where some of that sense of humor were in it. And American style sense of humor and Japanese style sense of humor are two different sets of humors. So of course, trying to rewrite it to fit American style humor, not everything is going to pop off as well. But when the cast switch does happen, and TJ and the crew replace Tommy and the crew, the story and the writing does become a lot better. And one important thing I kind of want to mention is the fact that they kind of put Turbo over Zeo. The first instance is in the movie where they mention that the Turbo Megazord is the strongest Megazord ever created, at least up until that point. And then later in the series, they get the Rescue Megazords, which is told to be stronger than the Turbo Megazord. And then Tommy in episode 5 goes, "We've never faced power like this before," kind of giving implications that Turbo is stronger than Zeo. But that's my deep analysis of Power Rangers Turbo.